Hello everyone, this is the introduction to the Stop Action Fall Leaves photography project. Before we get into the details of this project, let's talk about stop action photography in general. This is a photograph by Jim ZUCKERMAN, a wildlife and travel photographer who has worked for National Geographic magazine. What is stop action? When the action in a photo is frozen by using a fast shutter speed. So as you can see, this beautiful owl is frozen in action above this snowy landscape. Here are a few more photos by Jim ZUCKERMAN that are good examples of stop action. This photo is by Pablo GAVIRIA. He is a creative director that lives and works in Colombia. Here is what he said about this photo. In this photographic experiment, I covered a loudspeaker with a balloon to create a surface onto which I then poured some liquid paint. I connected the loudspeaker to my iPhone, and when the music hit the speaker, the liquid started to dance to the music. Then a kind of magic the human eye can't see starts. Some pretty amazing photos in this series. These are two photos by WALLBAUM and ALEIA MURAWSKI. This artistic duo used a combination of real and faux stop action to create this series of photos. Alex and ALEIA used a mix of unexpected objects and bright colors to create a playful mood. In the first photo, we have examples of real stop action, so they're actually pouring the liquid and actually dropping the popcorn and the chips and froze it mid-action with a fast shutter speed. But the second photo is actually a fake stop action photo. Let me show you behind the scenes. So they actually use string to hold up the objects, but it still looks interesting, but it's not a real stop action photo. How to capture stop action with a DSLR. A fast shutter speed stops action and a slow shutter speed blurs action. So each one of these pinwheels were actually in motion at the time that the photo was taken. You could see that the first photo, the shutter speed was 1/500th of a second, which is really, really fast. So it's so fast that it froze that pinwheel in mid-action. You can see on the right side, the shutter speed was 1/10th of a second, which is a pretty slow shutter speed, and the effect was to blur those colors, which also looks pretty cool. As we've learned in the past, a shutter is part of the camera that opens to let the light in to expose the sensor. So in the diagram, we can see that the shutter is the dark blue line and the sensor plate is the blue-green line that's behind it. So look at the mechanism that's been taken out of the camera, and you can imagine those shutter blades opening up when you push the button on the camera and letting the light in to create the photo. Our project, the fall leaves. So you will have a series of objects to choose from similar to these. You're going to choose the objects that appeal to you. Carefully arrange the objects on the wood and fabric backdrop in the classroom. Consider the size, shape, and color of the objects as you place them. For example, objects that have the same color and shape could be boring when placed next to each other. Objects that have different color and shape provide contrast that could be more interesting, so keep that in mind. Work with a group and rotate jobs. There are 3 basic jobs for this project. Number 1, leaf sprinkler number 1 on the right side. Number 2, leaf sprinkler number 2 on the left side. And number 3, the photographer. I very purposely use the word sprinkle and not drop because the objective is to let the leaves go a little bit at a time so it looks like they're flowing down naturally through the air instead of letting them all go at once and then they just drop in one big group, and it doesn't have the effect that we need for our project. Each person should set up their own still life arrangement and rotate jobs until each person has a turn. Everyone needs to help keep our leaves in good condition, so don't be like these kitties. Try not to break the leaves. Please keep the leaves in good condition so everyone can use them. Thank you. We're going to use something called continuous shoot mode for this project. That means when you hold down the shutter button, you'll take many photos in quick succession. That way you can capture action as it happens. The objective is to try to get a series of 3 to 5 photos in a row of the leaves dropping. For example, down here on the bottom you can see image number 8711 through 8714. So that's 4 images in a row. And the first one, there's a couple leaves dropping, a couple more leaves dropping, then a lot of leaves dropping, and then all the leaves have fallen down. That's the kind of thing that we're looking for. Because we are going to make animated GIFs with our photos. So in addition to turning in your best photo like we usually do for all of our photography projects, you're also going to be using your photos to create an animated GIF. Technical information. Here are the camera settings that you'll use. Push the continuous shoot mode button, which could be in a different location on different cameras. And on this Canon, you can see that the second option is the continuous shoot mode. So that is the one that you would choose. To make a fast shutter, move the mode dial to TV, which is shutter priority. Move the dial on top of the camera to change the shutter speed. Experiment with 1/500th to 1/640th of a second. This is where you will see the shutter setting. So this one is set for 1/640th of a second. And the ISO should be set to auto. Your assignment. Take 10 to 20 photos. Use the continuous shoot mode. Make sure you get 3 to 5 photos in a row of the leaves dropping. Evaluate your photos carefully. Choose the one with the strongest composition that clearly meets the project criteria. Edit your best photo with Photoshop. Check the levels and adjust if needed. Make creative edits if you wish. Turn in your best photo to Google Classroom. And don't forget to make your animated GIF. Follow the instructions in the video to make a GIF with your series of 3 to 5 photos. That's it, everyone. Have fun!